Right now we're going to talk about your 10 Clairs, C-L-A-I-R-S. This is a very powerful benefit of the performance enhancing meditation method. Clair is a word that describes a type of clear sensitivity that corresponds with our physical and intuitive senses. So Clair is the beginning of the word that names our intuitive abilities. When we use the performance enhancing meditation system, you'll strengthen all of your Clairs. All right, all of them. And you've heard of them. Here they go. Your Clairs are Clairaudience, Clairvoyance, Clairsentience, Claircognizance, Clairsalience, Clairtangency, Clairtaction, Clairgustance, Clairempathy, and Clairessence. Let's start with Claircognizance, which is your intuitive knowledge. This is when you have the knowledge of the future or the past, but you have no clear reason as to why you know what you know. You know, there's no restriction either on what it is that you know. Clairvoyance is the one that almost everybody has heard of, is intuitive vision. Clear seeing is what I call it. The ability to use your mind's eye to see things, actions, or events that transcend time and space. So it may not be happening right now, okay? Clairaudience is intuitive hearing. I call it clear hearing. I'm pretty strong in this area. This is one of the abilities where you hear words, sounds, and extrasensory noise from the spiritual or ethereal realm. These sounds are experienced beyond the limitations of ordinary space and time. So this is one of my highest abilities. Clairsentience. This is intuitive knowing by feeling. You might have the ability to feel in your body the energy or vibrations of animals, people, or places. You may perceive one's thoughts, emotions, pains, or even their illnesses. And that's another one of my highest abilities. When I first started becoming aware of my abilities, that was the strongest one for me. I recall one day when a woman was sitting across from me in a reading. I was actually in a clairvoyant program at that time. I could feel her heart ache inside of my body, and it was so painful. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I could just feel it, and I had to learn how to put that in check because it was awful. I don't want to feel what other people feel. It was really, really painful, but I was able to know exactly what she was going through. Clairsalience is intuitive smell. You might smell things, a person, animals, or places that are not immediately around you and that are beyond space and time. Clairtangency is intuitive knowing by touching an object or a person. You would touch something or someone and know information about what or who that you're touching. You know, I recall one time it was a pastor that I know from Sacramento, and she was at one of my favorite churches. This is Pentecost over there in Sacramento, and I remember her touching my hand, and she knew exactly what I was experiencing, and she spoke it out. And in my head, I said, she is gifted. I knew it, because when she just touched my hand, she knew everything. I said, Clairtaction is intuitive touch. This is when you have the ability to be touched by a spiritual being or entity and know the information from or about that being. With this one, you have the ability to touch both physical and etheric beings. This also describes how one does remote healing work on the spirit body of a being who is far away. So when I do long distance healing or I do healing in my group, this is how I do that. Clairgustance is intuitive taste, which is tasting something without putting it in your mouth. I don't think I had that one. Okay, clairempathy is intuitive feeling or emotion, which allows you the ability to know people and their energy. It allows you to physically experience the thought, the attitude of the person, place, or animal, and feel the associated mental emotions, physical or spiritual situations. It's very similar to clairsentience. Clairessence is intuitive embodiment. This is the state of total being that we strive for, having oneness or the successful embodiment and integration of all of our senses within our rational and non-rational selves. So those are the 10 clairs that we will tap into. Hey, everybody. Right now we're going to talk about your life being a baggage collector. You know, like that conveyor belt at the at the airport, just all that luggage. You know, we're going to talk about how we have spent a lifetime collecting luggage. And we're going to start by talking about energy. Energy is real. You know, energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed, but it can be transferred. We transfer energy all the time. And, you know, we have to release energy. Sometimes you have spent a lifetime collecting energy from all over the place. Every time you have a conversation, you're collecting energy. As you're listening to me right now, you're collecting energy. As you went through your day today, you collected energy. Whether you knew it or not, if you accidentally cut somebody off on the road and they got upset with you, you collected a little bit of their energy. As you went to the grocery store and you met with the cashier, you collected some of their energy as they spoke to you. You know, energy is verbal, energy is nonverbal, energy is emotional. We transfer energy from person to person all the time. Guess what though? One thing we don't do on purpose is release it or replenish it. You know, we spend a great deal of time giving it all away. What about pouring it back in? So in this course, of course, you're going to learn how to do that. You're going to learn how to release other people's stuff and bring more of your own back in. And we're going to do this under grace and in perfect ways. But, you know, I just want to talk about how we have collected so much energy. Do you know that when you were in the womb, you were collecting energy? I do this healing, and I call it a timeline healing, because I'm not really good at coming up with names. At least that's what I think. And, you know, it's a timeline. You know, I'm going from womb to present. And depending on how old you are and how many times I have to stop is how long this session takes. And I usually do it in a few sessions, especially if there is a lot of trauma. And sometimes we even have to go back beyond the womb to past lifetimes. But with the timeline healing, I try to keep it, you know, from womb to present. But as I do this, I find so much that the fetus is picking up in the womb, and I'm able to tap into what happened when you were in there. Some people started creating, I should call it, their blocks when they were in the womb because of everything that was going on outside of the womb, because of what was going on in their mother's mind, because of what was going on that they heard all around them, you know, because mama was going through some trauma. Mama fell while she was pregnant, different things, you know, and I bump into these things right there when I start from womb to present. And I remember, I'm just going to tell you this little story of this lady. She was a client of mine, and she had been in therapy for 5 years, okay? And she was seeing a therapist once a week for 5 years. Now, I don't know why she was in therapy for 5 years, and I am not trying to belittle you if you have been in therapy for 5 years, but that's a long time to not have graduated from therapy. I just felt like this was a long time. So during our first session, I spoke with her, and she was very flat. She had no affect. Clearly, she was depressed. She told me that she didn't believe in God anymore. She didn't know what to believe in. She just was not happy with life. She just didn't feel anything. I don't even feel alive anymore is what she said. I remember talking to her, and for whatever reason, I exposed my true self to her in this session. And I asked her, could we do some alternative work? I mean, heck, she's been in therapy doing traditional therapy for 5 years. And she's still in therapy. I felt like, let's try something different, okay? So I did some alternative work with her on our first session. And I did some visualization work with her. I did a healing on her. And while I was doing the healing, she said that she could actually feel me, because this woman was suffering from a disease called necro something, where her hip bones were eating away at themselves. So she was needing hip replacement, I believe on both hips. And she was in a lot of pain. She had a wheelchair, a cane, and a walker. And she walked very slowly, and she was in excruciating pain. And the pain, she said, was coming from her groin area. She could feel it deep down in her groin area. So when I was doing the healing work on her, she said that it felt like the pain that was in her groin was coming up and rising to the surface. And I said, wow, that's amazing. So that was our first session. And after the session, I looked at her and she looked different. And she said, oh my gosh, Miss Tillman, I feel alive again. And I said, wow, that is amazing. And she looked alive again. So on our next session, we did this timeline healing. We started it, okay? And when we were in the womb, you know, there was trauma there. So every time I hear to stop, I stop, and I look at what's going on, and I go by age, and I look at what's going on at that age, and I communicate with you, and then I guide you through some processes. It gets kind of detailed, and it's different for every person, because it really depends on what we bump into and who you are, what you want, because she really liked visualizing stuff. So that was good for her, but some people don't. That's not them. So the session could look different for each person. So anyway, we stopped several times. Her journey was so traumatic. We even uncovered molestation that she didn't even remember until in the session. So of course we had to stop so we could process that. There was rape, there was molestation, and there was another rape, and then there was abuse, and everything was like in her pelvic region. All of her abuse was in her pelvic region. And I said, wow, it's no wonder that your hips are running away. Your hips are deteriorating, because feelings buried alive never die. So this woman, who was younger than me, she was like in her early 40s or late 30s, I can't recall. But anyway, her hips were just declining, and she never processed all of this pain that she had in her pelvic region from all of this abuse that this woman had. So now it is eating her alive. And I thought, oh my stars. It was just amazing that this is what this work led to in a second session. We had to stop, and then the next session we did some more. It took us 3 sessions to get her to her present age with all of the trauma that she received. She felt better. She felt physically better, because we were healing the old wounds that was buried, that buried emotion. And I'm gonna tell you, these old wounds are what's blocking you right now. It might not be the same thing that was blocking her, but if you have buried something, and most of us have, if you have buried something, it will manifest in a different way. And it just might be a block. And you think that the reason why you can't have the success that you want in your business, you think that it's because, well, I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to help that I want, all these reasons and excuses, okay? You think that all that's what it is, but really it's something else. It's something that you buried probably a long time ago, that you have never dealt with, that you thought that you were over, and it's still sitting there collecting, and manifesting into your present block. So I am so happy that, God has blessed me with the ability to be able to see the wounds and see the blocks and hear where they're coming from and help you to release them and heal that space, because you can release something but it can leave a big old hole, and then you have to fill that void, because if you don't fill that void with some healing and fill it up, then guess what? It's going to be filled with another something. It's going to be filled with some more of the same if you don't heal the hole that was created by that block. In our lifetimes, we have collected so much pain, and we just throw it away, bury it, whatever. Even if you've had therapy, if you haven't fully processed that pain and healed it and healed the spot where it was, you're going to fill that spot with something else. And then you're going to be one day wondering what the heck is wrong with me. And that's what it is. It could go all the way back to there. Some of the work that I do, I always make myself the test subject, and there was some work that I was doing recently on myself, and I realized that my sugar craving that I've had since I was a kid, that I'm thinking that's an addiction to chocolate, I realized that actually was a way for me to heal or bury an emotion that I was feeling, because my father didn't come pick me up on the weekends. He would no call, no show, and that no call, no show, that parlayed through so many phases of my life, through relationships, everything. But I didn't realize until recently that it was the reason why I had this sugar craving, this addiction to sweets. And then I started remembering, as I was releasing that addiction, and I saw that it triggered back to childhood. I was like, really? And I remembered, oh my stars, there was a point in my childhood that all of a sudden I was just a candy freak. I was eating Starburst, Annihilators, Skittles, and I think Skittles might have just came out. I might be dating myself. Annihilators were out. We used to call them Annihilators back in the day, Annihilators, and Starburst. And I had so many cavities, it was unbelievable, because I was eating so much sugar. And even as I grew up, I would go to the sugar section, the candy section, and I would stare at the candy. No joke. I would just stare at it and try to talk myself out of buying it. Sometimes I would buy it and then not eat it. I would just let it sit on my shelf. So I would have all this rotten candy in my house, all this old candy, and people come on my house. I'd be like, don't eat that. You better check the expiration date, because I'm working on, not giving into this addiction even though I bought it. Recently, I was able to work on healing that addiction, and it went all the way back to when I was a little girl. So that wound parlayed with me throughout my life. I either filled the wound with sugar, or I filled it with unavailable men, or I filled it with men who, whatever the case may be. I ain't gonna get into all of my stuff. But I've had some, I have had a journey, and that's why I'm here to help you. I'm here to assist you on your journey. I'm here to assist you with figuring out what your wounds are, healing those jokers, filling it up with some good healing, and opening the road for you to have what it is that you desire to have in this lifetime. Open the road so that you can manifest the great things in life. We were born to be rich, even though everybody's not supposed to be rich. But what is rich? I'm not just talking about finances. Rich is also your spirit. You were born to be rich in your spirit. I have a program called Recipe for Prosperity, and it wasn't hardly at all about making some money. It was about the prosperity that you have when you have peace of mind, the prosperity that you have when you're able to release all those old layers of crap, so that you could be you again. Who am I? Sometimes we don't even know who we are because we are so lost with what other people have put on us, what we have collected, all the energy and stuff, all the thoughts that we have collected, thoughts are energy, all the crap that we have collected throughout our lifetime, and then we've created this stuckness that we will be in this moment. So stick around. There's so much more that I have to give to you in this program. Stick around and enjoy. Peace. Everybody, today we're going to talk about ways to raise your vibration and the powerful use of mantras. Now, a mantra is a word or a sound that's repeated and it aids in meditation. It's believed that when using a mantra, only the positive intentions will fill your mind and negativity will just be released. So we're going to learn about one mantra, and it's called the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra is the most ancient of prayers, which encourages one to be led by the universe. Gayatri is the mother of the Vedas, which is knowledge. This is one of my favorite mantras, okay? I chant this mantra several times a day. I often chant it when I'm doing healing work. I chant it all the time. If I feel stressed or anything, I'll just start chanting the mantra. Now, it's said that you should recite this mantra 54 to 108 times with devotion. So when you're spending that spiritual time, that's how many times you chant it. I remember one time I was out and I had this t-shirt on, and on the back of the t-shirt was the mantra. And I love the t-shirt because I love the mantra. And I remember this Indian gentleman asking me, he stopped me and he said, "Excuse me, do you know what that is?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you chant?" And I said, "Every day." He said, "Wow, your life is going to be blessed." And I said, "I received that." So anyway, here's the mantra. And don't critique my singing, okay? And this is what it means. O thou existence absolute, creator of the three dimensions, we contemplate upon thy divine light. May he stimulate our intellect and bestow upon us true knowledge. Now, let's start with Om. It's the fundamental sound symbolically used for the universe absolute. Dimahi means we meditate or we contemplate. Borgo is illumination. Varinyam Divasya is of that adorable, supreme, divine reality. Savitor is the source, Burva, Svaha, of the physical, the astral, and the heavenly spheres of existence. And it also can mean past, present, and future. Tat means that supreme, divine being. Prachohudaya is requesting, urging, or praying. Yo is which or who. Na is ours. Diyo is intellect, so that we might realize our supreme truth. So I know that was all mixed up, and that wasn't in the order that we chant the mantra, but that's what the words within the mantra mean. So when you chant the Gayatri Mantra regularly and with faith, it is believed that your life will be filled with lots of happiness. That's why that man said that to me. And he was surprised. He was surprised at my response. It was funny to me. And I know I knew the meaning long ago when I first learned the mantra, and I kind of forgot it. I just knew it was good, you know. But anyway, the Gayatri Mantra should be chanted at dawn, noon, or dusk. However, the Gayatri Mantra could be chanted at any time and anywhere, and that's what I do. I chant it whenever I feel like it, usually in the morning, usually at night, but whenever throughout the day. It's recommended that you chant it before meals or when you wake up or go to bed. And that's what I do. When I wake up, when I go to bed, I chant it. When I'm stressed, as I said before, because when I'm stressed or I'm trying to just, oh my gosh, trying to block something out that's really, really stressful, I'll just start chanting it to raise my vibration. So this is one of the things that I do to raise my vibration, and I do it on a regular basis. So I'm going to chant it for you one more time. And we will give you a download so that you can have the words. And we're actually going to record it for you guys as well. Here we go. Om Bhagavad Tatsadito Varehiniam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Huyona Prachodaya. Om Bhagavad Tatsadito Varehiniam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Huyona Prachodaya. Om Bhagavad Tatsayeto Varehiniam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Huyona Prachodaya. Om Bhagavad Tatsayeto Varehiniam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Diyo Huyona Prachodaya. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. There are plenty of other mantras out there. I like to learn what they mean, what they do when you chant them. I love, like I said, when I'm doing my healing work, I just love chanting the mantra. I love it when I'm releasing from somebody or helping them to dispel some energy or whatever it is we're releasing from them. I love chanting the mantra because it raises my vibration and it helps me with my healing energy. It really helps to aid in what I'm doing. So I hope that helps you. As you work with me, we will teach you many, many mantras and many other things that will help you to raise your vibration, because when your vibration is high, that's when you can manifest. When you're vibrating low, it's not possible to manifest great things, you know? So it's so important in your journey of manifesting what you desire on purpose. It is so important for you to raise your vibration. All right, you guys have a great one. Today I'm going to talk to you about breath techniques, and then in the following video I will demonstrate 2 techniques that you can use each morning for 7 to 10 minutes just to start your day off right. You can do it for longer though. You can do it 20 minutes, whatever you desire, but 7 to 10 is what I usually do in the mornings. These breath techniques are also called pranayama. Pranayama enhances the quality of your life force. It clears blocked energy channels. It harmonizes the body, the mind, and the spirit. It boosts your immune system, rejuvenates the body and the mind. It reduces your blood pressure and slows down the aging process. The breath I'm referring to is Ujjayi breath, which means conqueror or victorious. So this breath is often called victorious breath. Ujjayi breath will both energize and relax the body, mind, and the spirit. The slow pace of your breath when you're doing Ujjayi breath, it allows time for your cells to absorb the oxygen as you're inhaling, and it improves the efficiency of your cellular respiration even further. This improves your metabolism, which affects the way your body handles nutrients from the foods as well. At the same time, each escalation empties out more toxins and waste product than all other forms of excretion combined. It releases pent-up emotions, and it also calms the mind. Most importantly, this purification gives you access to the innermost dimensions of your own existence. With Ujjayi pranayama, you slow your breath down for just 20 minutes, but your heart and lung efficiency is improved in the same way as in aerobic exercise. And your natural breath and heart rate, they're slower during the rest of the day just by doing 20 minutes of Ujjayi breath. When you do Ujjayi pranayama for 20 minutes a day, and I keep saying 20 minutes, and as I said, I do it for 7 to 10 in the morning. But when you do it for 20 minutes a day, your heart and your lungs don't have to work as hard to feed the rest of your body for the rest of the day. When you're doing Ujjayi breath, you're breathing in and out through your mouth and nose. You completely fill your lungs while slightly constricting your throat, and you breathe through your nose. You relax your body and you gently close your eyes as you're doing this breath. You let your mouth drop open slightly. You relax your jaw and your tongue. You inhale deeply through your mouth on the exhalation. And then you slightly constrict your throat. You constrict or contract the back of your throat. The breath, it kind of sounds like a snore. I would do it right now, but you wouldn't hear me, but I will do it for you on the next video. When you can comfortably control your throat during the breath, then gently close your mouth and begin breathing only through your nose. You should be able to hear the breath. I hear it kind of in my ears. I hear the breath inside my head. But somebody sitting far away from you, they shouldn't be able to hear it. So they shouldn't be hearing this loud snore, like you need oxygen or something. All right. If you have high blood pressure, you can practice this breath, but do it slowly and take it at your own pace. And if you start experiencing lightheadedness, just shift your breath a little bit to nose-mouth breath, because you start out doing it nose-nose, but then you can switch it up a little bit if you start getting lightheaded or something. The breath and some other breaths, they help to regulate your blood pressure. However, sometimes, you could get a little dizzy, especially if you have vertigo. I recommend if you have vertigo, do not do this breath. I had a bad experience with a client with that. Don't do it if you have vertigo. The second breath I'm going to talk about is Bhastrika. This breath is known to keep the toxins away. Bhastrika is a breath that goes in quickly and forcefully through your nose, and then it expresses just as quickly through your nose. During this breath, your chest should fill up with air versus your belly. I suggest that you blow your nose before you do this one, and don't sit directly in front of anybody because it could get kind of gross, because you may express a little bit on somebody. During this breath, your body gets the maximum amount of oxygen. If you have high blood pressure or heart disease, do not do the Bhastrika breath. When I walk you through the breath, you'll be raising your arms in the air as if you're grabbing some air, like this. And then you snatch them down like this. But you raise them high, so you're not going to be able to see my arms go all the way up, but you grab them back down. So that's how you do the Bhastrika breath. But again, I'll demonstrate in the next video. How you reach up and pull. All right, so remember, go ahead before you do the next video. Make sure that you have about 10 minutes, maybe 15, so that you can watch the demonstration and everything. So make sure you have a little bit of time to do the next one. Make sure you blow your nose before you get started. I usually keep tissue right there beside me, and don't be right all up in front of somebody. You can try it if you want to, the whole thing. But with the heart disease, I really don't like playing with that. So do not do the Bhastrika breath if you have heart disease. Alrighty, see you in the next one.